Godzilla King of the Monsters is genuinely incredible. I absolutely love the Godzilla franchise and its movies, but out of all the ones I've seen so far, this one is not only the best Godzilla movie I've seen, but it's my favorite movie of all time. It's that good. I watched it in a movie night with some friends on Discord, and after watching it for a second time, and with Godzilla vs. Kong coming soon, I think it's finally time I review my favorite movie. When talking about a movie, there's no better place to start than the story. This movie's story is really good. Its ratio of kaiju moments to human moments is done really well, with a lot more focus on the kaiju than in the 2014 movie, which is good because I prefer the kaiju moments. And even then, I actually really like some of the human stuff. I love how in many scenes with kaiju the humans are speechless and simply in awe. I like the continuous questioning of what to do with the kaiju. Should they kill them, live with them, or let them destroy them? Granted, some of the human parts are pretty shit, but we'll get to that later. Anyways, the movie just manages to keep this high energy and hype mood almost every scene. Each scene is so engaging or epic that I never got bored during the movie. The pacing is also really good. The movie follows a slow burn as more and more kaiju are released, and as more and more destruction happens. The movie slowly escalates in tension until the final battle where it all comes to the max. The kaiju are incorporated really well into the story, with them basically controlling the pace of it, and I also like how much of an underdog Godzilla is. It adds a real tension to the movie even when you know how it ends. So yeah, the story's not amazingly written, but it's still extremely enjoyable with lots of energy to it, which is really all I want out of a Godzilla movie. However, if we want to really talk about what makes this movie the best, we have to talk about the kaiju themselves. Simply put, the way this movie uses and handles its kaiju is the reason it's the best. This movie handles them so unbelievably well. Let's talk design first. The kaiju's design in this movie is incredible. Ghidorah looks amazing, and the added bonus that his heads have different personalities is such a good touch. Rodan's design is great, but easily the most basic. Godzilla's design is great, with his spines now closer to the original look, and his meltdown form looks great and is handled super well. Finally, they did Mothra amazing. They actually made her look able to fight while still keeping that angelic vibe she always has. And the kaiju are all extremely well animated, with great movements, textures, and effects. And then there's the Titan's big moments. Rodan emerging from the volcano looks sick, and him destroying the city immediately after just by flying is a great way of showing how destructive they are. Ghidorah's call is amazing looking, and it brings a sense of dread with it. Mothra's descent from the sky is absolutely beautiful looking, with an absolutely beautiful score going with it. And Godzilla's return is amazing and might actually be my favorite scene in any movie. Plus, it's made even better by the genuinely beautiful score that goes with it. Speaking of the scores, this movie's soundtrack is so damn good. Bear McCreary delivered on one of the best movie scores I've ever heard with this film. Rebirth is an amazing track made even better by the addition of chanting in the background, which actually appears in many scores. Ghidorah's theme is powerful and almost alien-like, which really fits the character. Goodbye Old Friend and Queen of the Monsters are both absolutely beautiful sounding, and Battle at Boston and Old Rivals are great battle tracks with lots of energy behind them. So yeah, the soundtrack is amazing. And then there's the fights, which are just incredible. The battle in Antarctica is an amazing starter battle with great choreography and cinematography. The build-up to Godzilla's appearance is awesome, and the fight really helps show off how strong Ghidorah is and how Godzilla is basically the underdog. And the battle in Boston is an incredible final battle. Godzilla's entrance with the humans is great. The battle between Godzilla and Ghidorah is really well done with great choreography. The brief fight between Mothra and Rodan is really good with great air-to-air combat. Godzilla's drop from the clouds is absolutely breathtaking, and Burning Godzilla's appearance and build-up are amazing. And overall, this is just an amazing final battle. So yeah, overall they did the kaiju in this movie really amazing, and it's definitely the main reason I love this movie so much. But they're not the only people in this film. And now we get to one of the only negatives I can think of for this movie. Some of the human parts in this movie are shit. namely the villain. This bitch is just a really bad antagonist. She has a really low presence in the film because she doesn't do fuck all, and her motive slash plan is really dumb and uninteresting. Plus, her redemption doesn't feel earned at all. I really wish they had just made her like a full-on villain and not do the redemption part. Then there's the daughter, who is just boring. She barely does anything, and she doesn't enhance either of the parents' characters. And a lot of other side characters were just uninteresting. The humans also did some annoying stuff sometimes, like interrupting really badass moments with a mediocre joke like in Ghidorah's Rise. But there were also some good human parts, namely Mark and Serizawa. Mark is a pretty good main character, and I love Mark's philosophy on the Titans and how he views them as just monsters until he realizes that they are capable of benevolence, like Serizawa said. And speaking of Serizawa, I absolutely love his character, and all of his scenes build up to his beautiful death scene. We get these amazing shots with an absolutely beautiful score in the background, all leading up to a gorgeous goodbye scene from Serizawa, where he literally comes to terms with his demons. The scene was so good that it actually brought me to tears. Another cool human part is that they actually managed to sneak the fairy twins in. And as I mentioned earlier, I love how in many scenes the humans are simply in awe at the kaiju, like in Mothra's metamorphosis in Godzilla's rebirth. So all in all, the human parts are about 50-50 in terms of quality. But I don't really go to a Godzilla movie for the human parts, so it doesn't bother me too much. However, the fault in the humans is easily made up for by the incredible cinematography, which I'll talk about now. My God, this movie has such good cinematography. There's so many memorable moments or shots that are just beautifully made. So let's talk about some of those. A bunch of Ghidorah's scenes, like his call and his confrontation, look really cool and help build this booming and powerful feeling Ghidorah has. Godzilla's rebirth looks awesome and it truly feels like he's been revived stronger than before, and his underwater intimidation scene is really good with great shots. Mothra's metamorphosis is a beautiful reveal of her imago form with great build-up and effects, and her descent from the heavens is amazing looking with a beautiful score. Rodan once again is the weakest when it comes to cinematography, but shots like him leaving the volcano are still really cool. And while there aren't as many as in the 2014 movie, this movie still has a lot of great shots from this perspective of where a person could stand. So all in all, this movie has amazing choreography, but I've already spent way too much time writing this script, so I think it's about time I wrap things up in the conclusion. So now it's time to bring it all together. So this movie has a pretty well written and extremely enjoyable story, great animation and effects, an absolutely amazing use and portrayal of the kaiju in the film, amazing fights, and a great soundtrack, some really good human portions, great cinematography, and an overall really enjoyable experience. With all of that going for it, I don't think it's too hard to see why it's my favorite movie. Granted, some of the human portions are shit, and the story could definitely be better written, but with the amount of great stuff going for it, it honestly doesn't bother me that much. So as for what I'd rate the movie, I'd give Godzilla King of the Monsters a 9 out of 10. It's my current favorite movie of all time, and it honestly deserves more respect, because for some reason, people think this movie is bad. So yeah, I highly recommend this to anyone. It's extremely enjoyable and a great Godzilla movie. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, consider leaving a like and maybe even subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.